everybody, welcome back to the FM24 Youth Academy Challenge with Folkestone Invicta. We're in the National League, we're 15 games into the season and we are struggling. Let's go and have a look. Yes, hello everybody and fellow managers. We are in the National League and we are sitting 20th, 1 point above the relegation spots. We are there after 15 games played. We have 14 points. We are 1 point away from the same game to point ratio. That's normally enough to stay up, is if you have like 40 games, 40 points, generally enough to stay up. It has been very difficult. We've sort of abandoned the 4-2-2-2. It left us far too open in the sort of centre of the pitch. But we have started to improve a bit of our form. So we were last together for the Boreham Wood opening game of the season, 1-1. We then lost to Torquay. Nothing too bad about that. Torquay are a very good team in this division. A 1-0 loss at home. We went away playing the 4-2-4 to Boston United and won 4-3 with a 92nd minute Pete Daly winner. We were clinging on to that one. We actually took the lead, went 2-0 up, went 2-1 up, 3-1, and then in the 73rd and the 74th, Boston United scored. We then got a goal and the winner in the 92nd. Unbelievable stuff. A 1-1 draw with Tranmere at home. Again, not a bad performance, but Charlie Ash bailed us out in the 89th minute. Hartlepool, a 3-2 loss, and Hartlepool were bottom of the league at this point, and we were 1-all. Sorry, it went 1-0 down, 1-all, and then they started running away with it, and then Brandon Gilbert got us a late consolation goal to make it 3-2. We changed back to a 4-2-3-1 and then started messing around with things that we'll go into in a bit more detail in a minute. 1-1 with Barnet, a decent result. Barnet are a very good team. Jens Albers late on getting us a goal. 1-1 with Worthing, not bad. Elliot Moore getting our equaliser in that one from a set piece. Blythe Spartans beat us 1-0 in the 91st minute. We succumbed to a loss in that one. Southend was a 3-1 loss. Daniel Barlaser, who is a name I recognise, I think, from a Loki Doki save, was just phenomenal. Like, he was absolutely phenomenal. Running the midfield, it was ridiculous. We went in at half-time 1-1. They came out the second half, and he had a superb second half. Oldham beat us 2-1 in the 90th minute. They scored their second goal. We got a consolation in the 92nd minute. There's a lot of late goals happening in the National League for us. We then beat AFC Fylde 4-3, which was a really good performance. Louis Collins getting a brace, one of them from the penalty spot. Dan Willock and Pete Daly getting some goals as well, where we lined up in a 4-1-1-4 DM wide. Basically, to give us a bit more solidarity in central midfield, we dropped one of our two centre midfielders back to a holding midfield, so it was sort of like asymmetric, and that was Adam Beredetsky, who actually came in and had a decent game, getting a 6.9. We then got absolutely humped by Lowestoft away from home, 4-0 on the TV. Our only game we've been on TV for this season, we got absolutely drummed 4-0, and it could have been a lot worse. They were so much better than us. It was absolutely ridiculous. So therefore, we abandoned the 4-1-1-4 and went to the 4-2-3-1, where we played Hastings. Caleb Chukwuemeka gave them the lead away from home. Skjorten got on the end of a corner and made it 1-1. We dominated them. Their goalkeeper got man of the match. They took us to a replay where we absolutely smashed them 3-0 at the pilot field. Jens Albers got 2 and an own goal from Sonny Hart, which was so unfortunate for Jens Albers because he actually took the shot. And it must have been going wide because it gave it as a deflection on Sonny Hart and gave him the OG. But you sort of feel like giving the hat-trick. Northampton were brushed aside 1-0. Andre Coker with the goal coming in at right wing after injuries. Chester were drew 1-1. A very good result from us. Skjorten with a goal from a corner gave us the lead, but Sandak got them the equaliser. And we've just lost 2-0 to Yeovil, who are far too good to be in this division. They've got Jordan Bloody Hugill up front, who, if you look at him, he is far too good for this level, Jordan Hugill. Like, if I had him, I think I could win the league just having him in my team. If I had him and all the other youth intake players that we've got, I think I would win this division, because you play him up front as a target forward, get people around him, and with those mentals, jumping reach of 14, strength of 11, and he's got good finishing, first touch, decent technique, good off the ball. He would get you so many goals. Came through, where did he had West Ham, that's what I was thinking of. I remembered his name from somewhere. West Ham paid £9.5 million for him back in the day. So yeah, had a good old stint there. Got and played for Rotherham, and now 5 in 10. He's got 1 in 2 for Yeovil this season. But Jordan Hugill is very good. But we're back today because we're 15 games into the league season, which is a decent number to have a little judge of stats and things like that, or data, I should say. And we're playing Solihull Moors in the FA Cup first round, which is nice. It's away from home. Solihull Moors are much, much better than us. They are flying high in the division in the National League. But we get to take them on, and then we're playing them again in like 4 days' time, away again. So we'll see how that goes. But let's dive in to a bit of Power BI. Here we are then on the Power BI dashboard, and as you can see, not much has changed in terms of our best players out there that we can have, who's doing very well, and all of that good stuff. The one thing I forgot to comment on last time was the average numbers we've put in here now. These are calculated by everybody in the squad. You can see it averaging in attack midfield is pretty low, but it allows me to, at the end of the season, sort of judge how far people are away from the average and then see if it's worth keeping them in positions where we've got a number of very good people. So yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can count how many people are like above and below the average, but I haven't figured that out yet. So I'm still learning as we do this. And as I said, I'm actually introducing it all and taking stuff. I'm using this as a trial of things I learn at work on my Power BI dashboard at work, which is actually really important. And then stuff I'm trialing on here that I can then take to the work one as well, which is proving quite useful. In terms of squad data then, this is how we stand for the first 15 games of the Vanarama National League. So we have scored 21 goals this season. We have 2 joint top goal scorers at the club, which is Louis Collins and Jens Albers, although Louis Collins being outperformed by Jens Albers, because Jens Albers has scored 4 goals in 453 minutes, and Louis Collins has done over double that, over triple it, to be honest, for his 4 goals. So if I'm looking in a weird direction, it's because my Power BI is on my other dashboard. But yeah, it's very interesting, really, to see how much better Jens Albers is, apparently, as a striker. Dan Willock as well up there, 3 goals in 593 minutes. So doing all of our strikers are scoring goals. It's just we're too open when we play 2 of them up front together. So we're going to see a way if we can fit them in. Pete Daly again on the top assister, and he features quite a lot in this board. He's our most creative player. He's got the best non-penalty expected goals. He's our best average rating, and he is our top assister as well. So he's having a very, very good time of it. If we just narrow it down just to Pete Daly, as I just knocked something on my board there, you can see his attributes are very good. Expected assists 4.56, he's actually got 6. Non-penalty expected goals 3.3, he's got 3 goals. Is underperforming his XG slightly, but I'm not too worried about that. Average rating of a 6.96, he's playing very well. He's had 1,288 minutes, and he scored his 3 goals as well. So he is playing very, very well, which is good at the moment. We're keeping him in. Beckham Wooden, the goalkeeper, in there with the best pass completion. Sort of makes sense. We generally just pass to fullbacks and centre-backs. Beredetsky in there is our best tackle ratio per 90 is interesting. And Tom Bowen is winning lots of headers, playing sort of more as a fullback at the moment, but yeah, we'll see. What I have done is reduce this down to only the first team squad that we've got, because obviously there was lots of empty data points that were taken up by all the under-18s because it doesn't track their data like we're doing here for the first team. So yeah, there are some things we can look at. I mean, expected goals over performance is a sort of interesting one to look at most of the time, but Albers and Willock are both outperforming their XG they should have. Louis Collins is outperforming but just below it. Brandon Gilbert up there with his 1,444 minutes and outperforming his XG by 0.87 is doing pretty well for a centre-back, to be honest. Andre Coker's sort of just edged his way back into the team due to injuries, and he's actually performing quite well, so we're not going to be dropping him too often. He might get a bit more game time this season, although he doesn't really feature in any of the top numbers that we have at the club for players and stuff. So you can see, like, for wingers, we've got Holland, Ash, Daly, Michael Simpson are above him, Louis Collins is above him, Mohamed Shylon, Romeo Deterville is above him, who is not even a winger by nature, Gavin, and then Coker down here as well. He does rank higher in attacking midfielders, so he may get a bit more game time there because he's actually second in attacking midfield, but at the moment Pete Daly's doing a really good job there with his chances created and average rating and pass completion and things like that. So it's all going pretty well. But yeah, we're seeing, we haven't had much game time for Kanan Omarovic. We might put him on the bench for the FA Cup game today, not sure about that. But yeah, generally it's going okay. I don't know if we're going to survive. Let's get back to the game and we'll go into a bit more detail. So yes, what we've been doing then is sticking basically with the 4-2-3-1, but we have a slightly more defensive version of it where we drop back to fullbacks rather than wingbacks back here, which I'm tempted to do for our normal strategy as well, because I think it's a bit more balanced. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. We take off counter and we actually drop into a mid block as well. We've called it 4-2-3-1 leading, but it's quite a useful system to play against teams that are much, much better at us. So we may utilise it from the start against Solihull Moors. Not too sure on that yet. But something I think that is wildly underestimated in Football Manager is opposition instructions and utilising them as best you can. Now, we weren't in a good run of form. If we go and look at the schedule here, you can see, you know, we had since the beginning of the season, we had 2 wins in all of the games and a lot of late goals, bailing us out and things like that. I would say arguably when we moved back to the 4-2-3-1, maybe around here, it probably was a little bit later on, maybe this run of form from the qualifying round or the win against Fylde. We started to introduce opposition instructions. Now, opposition instructions can be a little bit confusing at times because you get into it and obviously it lays it out like this to go before a game, and you can do it in the game as well to see who you want to do. And nobody, individual players, have any opposition instructions. What I've got set up is it on position. So you can see in the positions here, I have them already set up for people I want to tackle hard and where I want to show them in the pitch, whether I want to try and push, in this case, fullbacks and wingbacks and midfielders. I want to try and push them in to our box 2 that we've got in there, right? Those 2 holding midfielders. I want to push them in there and trap them inside. The wingers, if they're playing AMRs and AMLs, I'm actually forcing them outside onto their favoured foot on the wing. So a right winger, I want him on his right foot because I want them to cross the ball in, because we've got Skiorton and Gilbert who are both very good in the air back there as well. So it's interesting, right? So if you look at it on this says I have no player instructions. I've set them up by positions. Now what you can do, you have to set them up in here. So you have to go tactics, opposition instructions, and then positions. This will all be remembered for every single game, right? So if you then come in here and give everybody a tick like this and click that, you'll see they are in the game for position, not for the individual person. They're in there for position, which means they are in the game and they are going to be acting like that. This is how it's going to work, because this is important, right? This is important because what this is doing, as I said, is forcing the majority of their players into the middle of the pitch. Now, why do I want that to be important? Why is that so important? That is important because what we've done is add in trap inside in here. So whilst we are going to be a little bit wider up here, we're also going to be directing their players into that position other than their wingers out here, who we're going to try and force a little bit wider. So that's why opposition instructions are important. That is why we're trying to utilise them a little bit more in this save, because it does give you another string to your bow. Now, the issue is trap inside and trap outside are very complicated to use. It's not as easy as just you stick it in there and everyone gets funneled in the inside. I very rarely use trap outside. Trap inside I use a lot more commonly with opposition instructions. I would never just check trap inside on its own. Right. That was a bit of a tactical insight into my mind. So we'll see if it works. This is actually our 4-2-3-1 leading system. So we're going to drop that down like that as well. We're just going to off the press a little bit with our mid block so we don't have to press all the way up. But I think we will start with that. We are going to start with the 4-2-3-1 leading. Apologies, you're seeing a bit of a scatterbrain at the moment, aren't you, about all my thoughts? But we'll see how it goes. Also, shout out to Salty Prawns FC. This is my Thursday night team here in Singapore, and we are currently second in the league. And annoyingly, we're playing like first in the league. I'm the goalkeeper. This is the outpitch kit. I've got a goalkeeper kit. If you want me to do a video in my goalkeeper kit, which is bright green, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, we play top of the league, or not this, well, I don't know when this video is coming out, but not on the Thursday coming up, the week on Thursday, and I've got work meetings, and I'm the goalkeeper, and I can't make it, and they're annoyed at me. But it's a global meeting that I'm hosting for work, so can't really miss it, can I? Anyway, back to the game. We're gonna pick a team. We're gonna pick a team here now. Beckham Wooden has been pretty decent. In PowerBI, I was chatting to my mate Dowjit, you'll probably know him as Bust the Net, and we were discussing goalkeepers and attributes and things like that, but Beckham Wooden comes second in the rating of the things that Dowjit says you need to be the best goalkeeper ratings in the game, which for him is aerial reach, handling, and reflexes. So Beckham Wooden comes second in them with 7, 10, and 11. Top of that is Sam Dean Pulling, who has 6, 12 and 13. So his handling and his reflexes massively help him overcome that aerial reach, is what they say. So we're going to give Sam Dean Pulling the start in today's game, which is a bit of a risky subject. I know, risky way to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to put Elliot Moore back in at right back to replace Bowen, who's been doing a good job filtering in at both the full back positions when he's been called upon. He's done a pretty good job. Skjorton, Gilbert, Fitzgerald, I'm happy with that back four. That's pretty damn good. Allsop and Bidetsky, we're pretty crap if either of them get taken out of the game. So hopefully they make it through the 90 minutes. Allsop's a little bit tired. We could rest him. Let's give Leo Turner a run. We very rarely play Leo Turner that. Doesn't get that many starts, as you can see. 1 appearance, 13 substitutes. Andre Coker can keep his place on the right. He's been in good form recently, so we'll keep him there. Pete Daly. Andrew Hollander has been dreadful. He's literally one of the worst average ratings at the club, so he's going to be dropped for Charlie Ash in today's game. And we're going to start Jens Alba. He's got a good track record of finishing, so he can go in. Louis Collins can go onto the bench. Wooden, Quarry, Holland, Ferreira, Allsop, Collins. And then I think, again, a little bit risky. Let's put Dan Willock on there as well as another striking option for a bit of a target man. And then we've got 2 spaces left, and we're going to call up 2 youngsters that I've had my eye on, hopefully, because hopefully they haven't been... If I call him up here, does his ineligibility go away? No. If I call him up to the senior squad, his eligibility... bollocks, that's annoying, isn't it? Because we can't play Kenan Omarovic. That's annoying. But Shylon is a very highly rated winger. And Dutton Black is very highly rated. Now, I'm going to put Sackman in there because he's a holding midfielder and he's got very good jumping reach, if I remember rightly. Yeah, 15. Okay, so we've got the squad sorted. We're going to start slightly more defensive. Let's see how this goes against Solihull Moors. Now, I'm expecting us to lose to Solihull Moors, and I'm expecting us to not go very far in the FA Cup, but the money does help if you do get through. So we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully you're enjoying the series. If you are, please do leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. At time of recording, we're, I think, 94 people away from 10,500 subscribers, which is absolutely awesome. So please do keep liking, commenting, and doing all that good stuff on the video. It feeds the algorithm, gets it out to more people. More people can come and subscribe. And then, yeah, we're just ticking up that community, aren't we? It's going very well. Right, we lost 2-0 to Yeovil last time. I don't think I want to see a marked improvement because they're just much, much better than us. I want to win every match. Oh, that's confused Beredetsky and Elliot Moore. So let's see if we can redeem the situation with a bit of encouragement, which we can. And now we just need to do the thing I always need to do when we come into a game and knock this down to there and put this onto sideline and put replays back on and say goals only, please. There we go. Right. One day I'll come into a video and that'll all be set up when I've sorted it out. Elliot Moore with the throw-in into Daly. Back to Moore. Cross in looking for Charlie Ash. He's not the tallest, so he's probably never going to win that. That's a foot race that their guy's going to win. Come on, Fitzgerald, you youngster. You should have good legs. Good ball in. Moore heads it away. Agbinoni brings it down onto his right foot. That's a great challenge. Don't give a penalty for that. He didn't. Ola shoots. Dean Pulling sees it over the bar. Solihull Moors starting well. One of the things I've been focusing on, maybe rightly or wrongly, is match momentum. If I feel like if we've got good match momentum, we're normally doing okay in the games. And just to show you what I mean about opposition instructions, again, they're not here when you look at personal player instructions. If we change that to position, they are in the game. They are working behind the scenes And that is a UI bug that has been raised so many times on the forums to be like, why aren't you showing me that before the game kicks off? Don't always filter it just by personal player. Do it by the position, please. So they'll always be in play no matter who plays in these certain positions. So we're basically trying to force Noyle, this guy, Noyle, and the opposite wing back into the middle of the pitch so they get stuck with our two in here. And then when their central midfielders get the ball, that's a lovely ball over the top. Koki's in, Ola's there, great header. Dean Pulling tried to come out to get a touch on the ball but couldn't get there. It's a really good header from Ola. He looks tall. He's probably a lot better in the air than most of our players. But it was this little ball over the top. Badley Morgan there, lovely dink over the top. And Kokoshi with the first time cross. I mean, Ola's, yeah, we're nowhere near him, right? That'll be probably our bad marking. What we can do, though, is very quickly change to our more attacking system and see if we can get a goal back before half-time as Benjamin comes and claims that cross for Solihull Moors. But yeah, anyway, so we're trying to filter players into the middle of the pitch, and then when basically we're tackling their central midfielders really hard, we're trying to force them in the middle and then putting them under so much pressure when we're in there as Daly comes forward. Turner, Bereditsky, great ball into Daly. Daly's in! Oh, he's missed. It's a really good save from Benjamin. Oh, Daly, that's a shocking miss, and we're not going to see the corner because nothing comes of it, but yeah, a corner to Solihull Moors we are going to see. Noyle, he's got a short option there, uses him. Kokoshi goes to Agbenone. Shot goes past the post. Dean Pulling not even troubled in goal. Had it covered, let's say. But you can see we've gone more attacking and lost a bit of momentum. But it's only 1-0. We've had more shots on target. They've scored from their only effort on target, and it was a clear-cut chance. Whilst we're not creating all that much, I do think we can do better. So let's go with that. Keep going, and keep going. And we'll see how this unfolds. Because I feel like we're doing well. Like, Solihull Moors are much, much better than us. And I feel like we can... If we can nick a goal, potentially, don't overrun it in there. Why are you running that ball? You're not being told to run it there, and that's a terrible finish from Agbenone, to be honest. I'm wondering if this is just giving up a little bit too much dribble less. There we go. Let's just really convince him that he should just be getting the ball, turning and passing. But, yeah, I think we need to try and get a little bit more momentum back in the game. Bereditsky. Don't dribble with the ball, Bereditsky. I've told you that. Turner wins it back into Daly, up to Ash. Ash's tackle. Bereditsky's there. Good ball through. Yes, it's put through to Charlie Ash. Saved. He was offside. But Benjamin with a big save for Solihull Moors. Yeah, I'm just wondering, do we drop that down again? I do think we're giving them a little bit too much of the momentum. Even though we're getting shots on target, I feel like we're giving them a little bit too much of a chance to counter us. Bagley with a free kick into the wall. Skjorten will clear it. Noyle will get there. Noyle, is that how you would pronounce that surname? I think it is. Daly not playing too well. Ash not playing too well either. We do have some big players on the bench that we can bring on because we've rotated a little bit. As Solihull Moors are just starting to take control of the game. 65 minutes gone. Let's look to make our first changes. So Jens Alber's off. We'll bring on Louis Collins up front. Charlie Ash off. We'll bring on Mohamed Shylon. Can get his debut. And we'll stick with that. Sam Dean Pulling on a 6.5. I'm not reading too much into that because I think he couldn't really do too much about the goal, to be honest. But 20 minutes to go. Let's give them a little bit of encouragement. We got a little bit of momentum when we changed back to the other tactic. But, yeah, not too much. They've only had one shot on target and it's gone in. That is a little bit irritating. We're going to go with some fresh legs in the middle. So Beredetsky is not that tired. Leo Turner's more tired. So let's bring on Charlie Sackman for his debut as well. Just got to keep these youngsters coming through, haven't you? You've got to give them a bit of game time. See how they can do. It's another tall player as well if we get a set piece. Let's see. 10 minutes to go. I feel like we've given Solihull Moors a bit of a good game, let's say. They have only had one shot on target. Beredetsky wins that one back. Clears it up towards Daly. He's not the tallest. Bagley takes over the ball into Wassel. Evans. Wassel goes long. Kokoshi's there again. It's another first time cross into Ola. Hits the bar with this header. Right, we do need to go for the win now. So we're going to go 4-2-3-1 attacking. Get our wing backs higher up the pitch because it's 1-0, it's the FA Cup, we might as well go for it. Dean Pulling doesn't keep that one out, but it hits the bar again. Solihull Moors are just sort of twisting the screw, aren't they? They're tightening the screw and putting a bit more pressure on us as the game just gets towards its end. Bagley crosses blocked. What is Bereditsky doing there? Kokoshi into Beck. Brown does keep it alive. Is that a penalty? No, it's a goal kick. Thank God for that. Because whilst there's time left, you've always got a chance. You've always got a chance. I mean, they've still only had one shot on target. They've got an XG of 2.1, so they've missed some sitters. But come on, that's the game, isn't it? That's going to be the game. It's full time. We're out of the FA Cup, but restricting someone to one shot on target, I feel like we've done pretty well. Pete Daly had a shocker in attacking midfield. Behind my head, you can't see that unless I remember in time to edit this and move my camera up, which I probably won't. But their goalkeeper got 7.8, so he's played pretty well. Kokoshi got the assist, 4 key passes in the game. He did well. We could have potentially forced Kokoshi and Nelson in as well, but then I feel like that's a bit overloading on our centre-backs. And our centre-backs are good in the air. Obviously, Trim Skjorten, jumping reach of 15. It's gone up by 1 as well, which is good. And Brandon Gilbert up there with 14 at 6'2". So they should be able to dominate the air. But it's a 1-0 loss in the FA Cup. We get knocked out in round 1. I'm going to say you did yourselves proud because, you know, the FA Cup's only there for a good money-spinning run. And even then, you have to get to round 3 and draw a big team. So there's lots of ifs and buts, and ifs and buts don't ever commit to anything, do they? So it's a 1-0 loss, bit of a shame, but we will move on from that. We gave 2 more debuts as well. Shylon greeted well by the Invictus supporters. It's always good to see someone step up to senior football. He is lacking a bit technically. It's his pace and acceleration that's sort of pulling him through at the moment, but we do know at this level that can really help. And Charlie Sackman's pretty much the same, right? His technical attributes aren't the best, but he's got good jumping reach, good leadership, he's fit, aggressive, good tackling and marking. So there is a player in there, I think. If I was thinking more ahead of time, I probably would have called up Kenan Omorovic so that he wasn't playing in the under-18s game. He's very all-rounded, and weirdly, he's going down. He was improving quite a lot before, but I do think he's going to be a very good player for us. You can see already 2.5 star, just not... The data isn't saying he's ready for the first team action just yet. And then Ferreira has had a couple of games off the bench for the senior team. He's quite good. We just need to work on his passing, get that up a little bit more. But yeah, again, an all-round player, which is nice to see, isn't it? They're also saying Gethin Owen needs attention. That means he's dropped off a little bit, although he has actually improved. And ones to watch, we've got Callum Chapman in here, physical winger, lots of pace. Can cross and can dribble as well. Maybe one to keep an eye on for the left wing spot. Ryan Gavin, another winger, looks very good on the opposite flank for the right wing. Again, acceleration, pace, dribbling, crossing needs to improve. His whole technical, mental stuff needs to improve, to be honest. Sam Jolly at centre-back could be pretty good in the future. Definitely not ready for it yet. That jumping reach is nowhere near good enough. Gethin Owen we've looked at, and Massimo Jolly, another centre-back, is here as well. Jumping reach of 10, and marking, tackling, not too bad. Very aggressive, I like that. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so I keep an eye on this page quite often. I think this is quite a good page to see how your sort of head of youth development is judging people and what they think. Interestingly, now someone mentioned this in the comments below on a previous video, not to always trust the star ratings. I generally don't trust them given the data that we're using. But this is the under-18s, isn't it? Why am I looking at the under-18s? There we go. Into the senior squad. Because now Tim Skjorten, wherever he's gone, Trim Skjorten, was ranked he was ranked at a 3-star. Remember when he came through? He's gone up to potentially 5-star now. Now, there are obviously players that have left the club that would have been much better in terms of potential ability, like Kai Mackenzie-Lyle, Josh Thorpe, people like that. But for him to jump from 3 to 5 is quite impressive, and I think it's because he's getting a lot of game time. So, and the fact that our coaches, assistant manager, head of youth development, everyone in the club is terrible at judging player potential, really. So yeah, that's what we're going for. Kai Allsop is by far and away the best player at the club in terms of current ability, and that Elliot Moore's up there as well with him. Yeah, 6.76 going up a division has affected us. Lots of people aren't playing as well as they did last year. But generally, I can't be too upset. Survival is all we need, and we are 1 point ahead of the relegation zone at the moment. I mean, a win could potentially take us up to like 15th, so it's far too early to be deciding where anyone's going to sit at the moment. But we're out of the FA Cup, unfortunately, and we've got a lot of National League games coming up. We're heading towards the new year as well, so we'll probably play a few more and then come back somewhere around like February or something like that for a little update, see how we're doing, look at the stats, look at the PowerBI, and go from there. But yes, if you are enjoying it, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.